Oh, man. All right, so we just need to start off with some calisthenics before we get ready to go live. And I guess we are live right now, so I suppose we should probably start. Hey, guys, what is going on? Welcome to Caliber Corner episode number 123 or episode 123, depending on how you count. And today we got a fun little episode lined up for you. We're finally going to talk about the FN 57x28 round. We haven't talked about that. I've wanted to do it for a couple weeks now. We're also going to talk about holsters. We got holsters of all shapes and sizes. What works best for us for concealed carry or inside the waistband, outside the waistband, and so on. Before we go ahead and take attendance and see who's watching us over on the YouTube side, we're going to go ahead and let the panel go ahead and introduce themselves. Just a quick reminder, tonight's episode is brought to you courtesy of SS Pond in Lexington, Nebraska. SS Pond is located right off Interstate 80 at the Lexington, Nebraska exit. Just off to the right there a little bit, it's a big old sign that says Pawn Shop. Make sure you check it out. Stop and say hello to Stan, and SS Pond will take care of your firearms needs. So let's go ahead and let the panel introduce themselves quick here, and then we'll go ahead and get started. We have a lot of information for you tonight. Night Strike, we're going to start up with you. So what's going on?
Did you not listen to what I said before?
You got to give an introduction, even if you're not going to make a commentary. Otherwise, you're going to say, why'd you skip that Night Strike guy?
All right. Well, all I have to say, if any shops like SS Pond want to sponsor GunTube, I would totally love to put your videos before any other videos in front of the videos that play on guntube.org. That's all I'm saying. But other than that, I released 2 videos on my YouTube channel today. So there you go.
Yeah.
Go check that out.
Yeah, and if YouTube's not screwing you over, it should have showed up as a recommended video to watch. I got no notifications on it today, even though I've got the bell.
No. YouTube's always screwing me over because
nothing.
Both those videos, even though one of them has nothing, says nothing about a firearm.
Yeah.
Apparently they decided it's not ad suitable.
Oh, dude, I get that on everything. I got that on my. All right. So anyway, Nice Rick. Anything else you want to say? You got a little show that you do on Tuesday nights. What's that all about?
Yeah, you're the unofficial co-host of Hit or Miss Tuesday nights 9 o'clock.
Exactly. We're there. We have a good time. Yeah.
No, 8 Central. Excuse me, 8 Central.
8 Central, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Well, I appreciate you introducing Central time first. I'm glad that you're starting to see how things are supposed to be. You know,
I'm just correcting myself. I'm not actually introducing.
Okay. All right. Okay, a little shout out to the flyover states. All right, moving off to his right, we got a little Rich White going on. What's going on, Rich?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing okay, man.
Really, I've just been posting up some more Instagram pictures from when we went to Harrisburg for the Great American Outdoor Show. Got some, since they didn't go to a SHOT Show, the first things I've been putting up on Instagram were pictures from the Henry booth so people can see what Henry's got going on. They got some nice lever guns coming out, or they may have already hit the market with their tactical series. I don't know if you saw the
Henry Black Line or whatever they're called. Is that what those are?
Yeah, they're polymer furniture and threaded barrels. They're tapped where you can put a rail on them or scope rings, whatever you choose to do on top of the receiver. And they're doing it exclusively with their side loading series, so you don't have to worry about loading them through the front. I'll get it spit out eventually. The pistol caliber one is the first in that series, is the first in the side loading series. So if you're looking for one of the Henry big boys with the side loader, the tactical one is the one you want to go with. And they got a little section of picketing rail right at the front of the handguard for like a bipod, and then there's a M-lock slot on each side of it, so if you want to put a flashlight or a laser. And again, threaded barrel, so it's from the factory, so it's totally concentric with the barrel if you want to put a muzzle device on there or pressure, and they have fiber optic front sights.
Dude, that is sweet, man. That is sweet. I think I need to bump up the Henry up on the list of firearms that I need to purchase. That might be one of my little bucket list guns. I'm gonna have to make that happen early this year.
Yeah, they're
I don't know, man.
Nice. I was checking them out.
Well, the only one I've ever shot is Squibs, and that thing was pretty sweet. So, all right.
The weight and balance on those with the polymer furniture is really nice.
Cool. So, hey, by the way, you got a little show that you do. You want to let everybody know about that? What's that show all about?
Yeah, it's This Week Unloaded. It's Sunday nights between 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern. And yesterday we were talking a little about the Great American Outdoor Show. We were talking about knives and stuff like that. So if you didn't get to watch last night's episode, go back and watch it. It's up on my channel. And This Week Unloaded is the show over on the Unloaded Media channel. There we go.
Unloaded Media Channel. Unloaded Media Channel. There you go. You guys get over there and subscribe to it right now. Good stuff. Good stuff. Cool, man. Appreciate you being here. All right. Squib Load. Squib in the house. What's cracking, brother?
If I can minimize the screen and get to the mute button. Hi.
That's right, man.
Thanks for the invite.
Hey, welcome to the party.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party. So it's gonna be some good. So Squib, you got anything fun coming up on your channel? Can you give us a little teaser about what's coming up? Give us a little
No,
early look here.
I don't have anything fun coming up on the channel. As a matter of fact, I've kind of taken a little bit of a break. I mean, I got a few videos sitting in the studio that I could just hit publish on, and maybe that's what I'll do. But I've been dealing with a few non-YouTube video related things, and kind of just said, all right, I need to focus on real life instead of virtual life, and just haven't been doing much. As far as what's coming up, probably just more speaking squibbish. What I need to do is I need to take some time and work on my Squiblift B channel, because I've got a bunch of folders with raw footage. I just haven't edited them and turned them into any sort of videos. Not that it's anything spectacular, but
Yeah, it's all right. It's content, man. It'll be good for you. Yeah.
No, I'm having fun making this stuff. That's just it.
Good.
I don't get a lot of views. I don't get a lot of this and that. It's kind of nice, I can get about like 1 subscriber a week, and that's kind of nice. And the people, both of you out there who always comment on my videos, thank you. And that's probably the most fun I get out of it. Isn't just making them and editing them, is when I get the interaction. So that's really all I do it for. It's not just about guns, and I haven't done a gun video in forever, and I have plans to do some, but that sort of stuff's on the back burner. I've been going for low-hanging fruit. Anybody can do a Pop-Tart or coffee review, okay? It's not hard to do. It's not expensive at all.
I don't know. I'm still waiting for a lot of videos to pop up from the rest of our gun community. There's a lot of videos that, the VR responses.
VR,
There's a lot of. I'm still waiting. I mean,
I'm not expecting much. For those of you out there who did VRs, I do appreciate it. It was kind of fun, and I still wouldn't mind doing a bracket, even though I'm really not into brackets. Maybe in a couple more weeks, give people a couple more weeks to do videos. But okay. Here's the thing: a box of Pop-Tarts is under $3.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you get to eat your prop. So how hard is it to buy a box of Pop-Tarts, put it in, and just take your cell phone and do a video and just say what, answer the questions? That, or you don't even really need to buy Pop-Tarts. If you wanted to, you could do a screenshot. You could just, save picture as, save image as, and then just do a voiceover with the voice recorder on your phone.
All right, I get it. I get the pressure. I'll do one. I promise.
You can go to Dollar Tree and get a 4-pack of Toastums. We'll even take Toastums.
Yeah,
By the way, they were the original Pop-Tart. Pop-Tart jacked the idea from Toastums and copyrighted it and patented it before Toastums was in production. So Pop-Tarts are actually a stolen idea. People don't realize that. And Toastums are a 4-pack for $1. So if you want to go old school original, go with the Toastums. They're actually really good.
You could do that. You could do a video on an alternative, because that's what Hawaii Volcano Squad did. So
yeah,
just saying, you could do your own rendition, whatever it is. But if you don't worry about it.
And otherwise, Night Strike, I'll just drop a box in the mail for you, and you'll be good to go. So
I've got cherry. I've got s'mores, and just because Vandalistic Vlogs hates it, I've got Fruit Loops flavored.
Ooh, I still have yet to try those. They just sound.
Those are the best.
I bet they're freaking amazing. I bet they're awesome. I love Fruit Loops anyway, or Fruity Pebbles. I'm gonna
do a video. I've been doing other videos lately, so I'll get around to it. I promise, Squib. I'll do one.
I know you're making responsible content instead of just fluff that we put out there once in a while. So
I know.
All right.
I can't always have fluff. I mean, I've got that with hit or miss. Tuesday Night Cyclone.
I gotcha. Hey, real quick, we're gonna let Duke Liberty chime in. He was gone for a few minutes. So Duke Liberty in the house. This is your second appearance back on the Caliber Corner. Is that right? He might have just got back. He's probably putting his headset on right now. There he is. Duke Liberty.
Oh,
what's
right.
up, brother?
Yeah. Thanks so much for your invite, Travis. Check out the Duke Liberty channel. Really appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Cool, man. All right. And last but not least, we got the one, the only, the Kingpin. David Bowling, what's cracking, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. I always appreciate it. I don't usually promote any of my stuff, so I'm not going to this time either. But Midnight Range is out in the chat, and I would highly recommend clicking on his name, going to his channel, and bookmarking his the closer last night. Bawoo.
Dude, that was a freaking premium. That was a sweet episode. That was fun. It wasn't, I mean, I was on it, but I mean, I really did enjoy the content. It was, I mean, I'd enjoy it anyway. It's a lot of fun, but it was just cool seeing somebody in the firearms production industry and getting a chance to talk to him. That was just awesome, man. Good episode.
Yeah, he's out in the chat, so hopefully he said I asked him if he could put a link to it, so hopefully he'll drop a link. But definitely click that link. It's a fantastic interview all the way, and I got to give a standing ovation to Midnight. It was really great job last night.
And Kingpin, I don't want to put you on the spot.
It doesn't really hurt. Yeah.
Hey, Kingpin, on a serious note, Crazy Scotsman, is he still doing it? Does he still have links for the fundraiser for Mr. Holster?
Yes, you can go to the Crazy. I had to mute myself. Sorry. You can go to the Crazy Scotsman's channel and go to GoFundMe, and there's the setup for Mr. Holster there for the prizes that have already been established. But if you want to get in on a brand new flash drive type of what I can't remember exactly what it's called. I don't remember. Rich probably remembers the word, but the 22nd, February 22nd, it's over. So you got to get your entries in. It's $10. You're going to get a complete AR-47, I guess you would call it. It's a 7.62 by 39. So $10 entry, and you can win a complete 7.62 by 39. But you have to have your entry in by the 22nd at midnight on the 22nd of this month.
Was that donated this month, or did he buy that, or did somebody buy it out? Was it an anonymous donor, or what?
Well, unfortunately, Mr. Holster has taken a serious turn for the worse in like a short amount of time, and so he wants to beef up the prizes and get more money in as fast as he can. So that's why this is a completely separate drawing. And he's got a couple parts. He had a couple parts sent from a couple of his friends. He bought a few things. Some other people bought it. It's just the whole crew over there got together, and they have a 7.62 by 39 AR configuration, $10. So get on that. It ends the 22nd.
Cool, man. All right, I appreciate you bringing that information out there.
If you're sitting there thinking that you can't win, I got one. I got an AR pistol for $10. You know, so you can win. It's not like one of those, you know, you join the lot, you give a guy $1 for a lottery ticket and you know you're not going to win. You could very well win, especially this flash drive one, because not as many people are going to enter.
What was it you were trying to remember, Kingpin? I heard you say something. I probably knew what you were trying to say. What was it?
What's Scotsman's calling this new, the AR 7.62 by 39, the fundraiser, flash fundraiser drive? What was he saying?
It's his now you said it. It's flash raffle, I believe is what he's calling it.
Flash raffle, that's the word right there.
A quick raffle. Like, we don't have a lot of time to get this together, you know. Yeah.
February 22nd at midnight, you have to have your entries.
Yeah, they don't know how much longer Mr. Holster is going to be with us. He went to the hospital and they found for his latest appointment. And the tumors that he has from his cancer have just gotten out of hand so much that they don't think there's anything they can do for him. He's at home now on hospice. They're not sure how much longer he's going to be with us. So they're trying to get as much money raised as they can to help his wife and kids.
Yeah.
And everything else.
And you guys, maybe you don't realize it. Maybe you're young and healthy, but man, cancer bills are unbelievable. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Mr. Horrelson. My grandpa fought lymphoma. He did survive, but man, I'm talking hundreds and hundreds and $500,000 worth of bills after the chemo, the hospital stays, the drugs, the medication. I mean, and the worst part about it is, regardless of what happens, man, I mean, the bills are still going to be there, you know? So I think it's our responsibility to kind of give back to somebody who's given so much to the gun community, right? So guys, dig in your pockets, dig deep. Those of you that got monetized channels, you got AdSense money rolling in on the 21st. There's no reason for you to not give anything. All right. You know who I'm talking to. All right.
Just a sidebar. Even though he wouldn't appreciate me saying it because of the kind of guy he is, stop over and let Scotsman know how fantastic of a human being he is and how everyone on this planet is better off because he's alive.
Yeah.
Because his whole crew over there has been ravaged over the past 3 or 4 years. He's lost a lot of friends in his crew. I guess you would call it like the Reloaders crew or whatever.
Mr. Holster's the third one now in like the last 2 years.
Yeah. So,
All right.
go let him know how much you appreciate everything he does, because you never know. It might come on your door. And if he knows you, the first knock at your door is going to be the Crazy Scotsman.
And he will downplay that until he's blue in the face. He does not like the attention. He does it because that's just the kind of person he is. He's not doing it for pats on the back. He's not doing it for handshakes. He's doing it because he just cares.
Yeah, this is one of our own guys. We can take care of him, right? All right. So let's see who's joining in tonight. We got a little Grim 90 over there, a little Southpaw going on, a little guy that comments, Jason Stewart, DM Foz, Mike says, what's up? We're doing all right, buddy. E-Rock says, G-code holsters have been great for me. SS Pawns in the house. Welcome, Stan. Guy that comments, Hunan's line is it anyways? When you start the topic tonight, the 5.7 by 28 versus 22 Hornet, like why either one unless full auto? Ballistics, man, they're very, very similar. Rich White says, pretzel Pop-Tarts. Kingpin's out there and over here. 2 Live Moo, tacos and french fries. Guy that comments, Midnight Range TM. And hopefully I didn't miss anybody. M. Gabriel's out there also. Rolling Trips joining us. Ron Kell says, hello, Travis. Hello, Ron. Breadman 2A Defender says, how you doing, bud? And Daniel Pfeiffer's out there, too. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to get right into the FN57 round. And, something we do is what we call the Caliber Spotlight, where we pick a round. I just talk a little bit about the history of it, and we discuss the relevance of that round today. FN57, it's one of those rounds that I really do think you're going to start to see it gain in popularity. I think you're going to see some alternative or some options for getting ammunition that aren't quite as expensive as the FN option. When it comes time to buy ammo for it, it can be a very pricey round. I had the pleasure of using SS Pawn Stan's PS90, man, and Stan gave me just free reign on the ammo on that thing, and it was so much fun to shoot. It was awesome. Definitely a bucket list gun. It was actually fun to take it apart and clean it and see the inside of that thing. But then on the flip side, when it comes to the 5.7 round, there's a lot of people that say, oh, it's anemic in the semi-automatic caliber, or it's just not very effective. And with Ruger coming out with the Ruger 57 or Ruger 5.7 pistol, I think that you're going to see a lot more people start to adapt to it and a lot more people buy it. Maybe we're going to see some innovation in ammo. I think that there's an HST or a Gold Dot 5.7 round that's going to be coming out that's going to be fairly affordable as a self-defense round. So real quick, I just want to run through the history of the FN 5.7 round, kind of give you the quick and dirty on the background for the round itself, and then after that we can have our discussion on it or not. I mean, we can kind of take it as far as you guys want to before we get into the idea of talking about holsters. So here you go, guys. The FN 5.7 by 28 millimeter round. It is a small caliber, high velocity, smokeless powder, rebated rim, bottleneck centerfire cartridge designed for handgun and personal defense weapon, PDW uses, and manufactured by FN or Stahl or Herstal. It is similar in length to the 22 WMR and to some degree similar also to the 22 Hornet or the 22K Hornet. Unlike many new cartridges, it has no parent case. The complete package was developed from scratch by FN. The 5.7 by 28 millimeter was developed in conjunction with the FN P90 PDW and the FN 5.7 pistol in response to NATO requests for replacement for the 9x19 Parabellum cartridge. In 02 and 03, NATO conducted a series of tests with the intent of standardizing a PDW cartridge as a replacement for the 9x19 Parabellum cartridge. The test compared the relative merits of the 5.7 by 28 cartridge and the 4.6 by 30 millimeter cartridge, which was created by H&K as a competitor to the 5.7 round. The NATO group subsequently recommended the 5.7 cartridge, citing superior performance in testing, but the German delegation objected and the standardization process was indefinitely halted. So had it gone through, there is a chance that the FN 5.7 may have taken over as a standard NATO round. Who knows, right? We don't know. I mean, we're going back 15, 17 years. So by 2006, FN's 5.7 firearms, the P90 PDW and 5.7 pistol, were in service with military and police forces in over 40 nations throughout the world. In the U.S., the 5.7 firearms are currently used by numerous law enforcement agencies, including the U.S. Secret Service. And finally, in addition to being used in the FN P90 and FN 5 series firearms, the 5.7 cartridge has subsequently been used in a number of other weapons, such as the AR-57 and the FN PS90 carbines. XL Arms has developed 4 firearms chambered in 5.7, and Masterpiece Arms offers 3 different firearms in 5.7. And then finally, Ruger released the Ruger 57 or Ruger 5.7 57 semi-automatic pistol chambered in this cartridge. And then there's a few different types of rounds that are out there for it. The SS-195 LF, the SS-197 SR, and it was around that originally came about in around 1991. Now, just real quick ballistics on it, if you want to just talk ammo, right? The 31 grain SS-190 APFMJ velocity is 716 meters per second, 2,350 feet per second, with 394 foot-pounds of energy. If you go down to a 23 grain pill, SS-90 APFMJ, prototype round was 2,800 feet per second, 400 foot-pounds of energy. And the idea behind the round was that it would, in fact, be armor-piercing. So it would give you that PDW armor-piercing capability from a compact weapon, namely the FNP90. And, I mean, I can understand within 50 yards that P90 at full auto would be, deadly, especially if you had a squad of agents or say security people that were, protecting an individual, if they had to use that in its full automatic form. I mean, it would be incredibly deadly. Semi-automatic form, I guess we can argue back and forth. Ballistics are somewhat similar to the 22 mag or the 22 WMR, and it's still a more powerful round, but still it does become a little bit anemic once you get past 50, 75 yards. So, guys, what do you think about the FN57? Is this going to be just a short-lived craze thanks to the Ruger that's been released? Are we going to start to see more firearms coming out there? I mean, CMMG's got the Banshee. If you go on over to Bud's Guns, it's not a good sign. There is no place to select 5.7 when you're looking up weapons on the Bud's Guns website, but you can type in 5.7 by 28 and all the guns will pop up for sale, chambered in that caliber. But what's your take on this, guys? Would you see yourself picking up a Ruger 5.7, Ruger 57 down the road if they go down in price?
I think more important than the number of firearms that are coming out in it is the more companies that are coming out making the round itself.
Ammo, yeah.
Now you got with Federal, they're coming out with it in their Spear Gold line. There's talk of them doing an HST round in it. So I mean, if you're getting Federal on board making it, that's generally a good sign of things to come. And probably end up. I wouldn't be surprised if depending on how the Federal round does, to see Hornady start doing something with it. Maybe like Underwood or Corbin or one of those higher end companies that makes the really hot ammo, maybe getting their hands in it as well. So I think that's the more important factor too. It's not just the firearms themselves, but the ammo that's available.
And here's just kind of maybe. Oh, go ahead, man. Yeah.
Is the pistol ammo neck down?
Yeah, it's a neck down.
Like is it? Okay. I was looking at it on the internet earlier and just going over the brief preview, and I saw it was neck down, so I didn't know if that was for a carbine or if that's the same exact ammo.
Oh yeah.
In the pistol.
Here you go, Kingpin. I don't know if you can see that or not, but here's the Wikipedia page for it. There's your ammo right there. It looks like a little mini 223 is what it reminds me of, really. I'm like a small version.
It looks like they took a 5.56 or 223 round and cut the case in half.
That's what I like about the 17 so much. Is the 17 is a mini 223 round, but it's I don't they're not really making pistols for the 17.
Yeah.
Now there was a little question about that 22 Hornet round, and I went over to the Wikipedia page for that too. And that round's been around for a very long time. Energy wise and velocity wise, I mean, it is pretty comparable, to be honest with you. We're looking at just as fast a velocity and if not more energy. So I would say that the 22 Hornet's going to definitely give 5.7 a run for the money. Now Hornet's 5.6 by 35 millimeter R.
Yeah, I would say that those two are more of a comparable thing than what 5.7 is to 22 Magnum. Simply for the simple fact that both the 22 Hornet and the 5.7 are both centerfire cartridges and not rimfire. So they're going to be more reliable just out of the gate than what the 22 rounds, your standard 22s or your 17 HMR are going to be, because those are all rimfire. And anybody who's fired 22 rimfire long enough in the road realizes that eventually you're going to get a round where the priming compound, which is in the rim, is going to settle to one side of the rim or another. You're going to pull that trigger and that round's not going to go off, not because the round is bad round, but simply because the physics of how rimfire works, that compound can settle from one side to another, and you don't always get a clean strike on the priming compound.
One thing about the 22 Hornet, I definitely want to dedicate a Caliber Corner spotlight to it, because it is a pretty fascinating round, regardless of what's available out there for firearms. I mean, yeah, that does seem like a pretty competent competitor. The only difference is that you've got FN pushing, the industry, or pushing the defense with the PDW releasings and stuff that gets the 5.7 out there, and then Ruger releasing the Ruger 57.
Yeah, the one thing that 5.7 probably does have over the 22 Hornet. 22 Hornet is a rimmed cartridge, and
yeah,
the 5.7 isn't.
Yeah, so stacking and feeding and reliability, especially if you're looking at a full auto application. Not that you couldn't make a full auto, 22 for that matter, but now just we were talking about ammo, and something I wanted to mention is that I don't know if this is related or not. Maybe it doesn't matter, but over on AmmoSeek.com, I'm looking at ammo prices and looking at ammo. 5.7 is the 13th most searched caliber that's out there of all the ammo that's searched on AmmoSeek.com. So out of all the ammo you could possibly buy, it's in the top 20. And so that puts it up there. I think a lot of guys and ladies are considering, they're looking at those ammo prices before they invest in a 5.7. Maybe that's why we're seeing it up there as high as it is. Because I'm thinking, okay, with only having a couple firearms out there, you wouldn't think it'd be even in the top 15 or top 20 most searched ammo that's out there. Because, I mean, look at it. You've got everybody's always looking at prices of 5.56, 223, right? 762 by 39, 308, 30-06, 22 LR. I mean, you take out the common calibers that all of us research for prices and buy if we're going to be buying online, and there's 5.7 up there. So I think that's a sign that it's definitely gaining in popularity. The least expensive ammo that I'm seeing on there right now, over at AmmoSeek.com, United Nations Ammo is the retailer. SS 197. 40 grain, 44.8 cents a round. And otherwise, if you want to go Federal American Eagle, you're looking at 50 cents a round, 45 cents per round in a 50 round box will cost you $22.50. So if we can get that to drop down a couple bucks, and I think that you will start to see it go down in price as time goes on and more companies push rounds out there, especially if they get a little more competitive, because they're going to be going for that lowest cost per round competition. I think that we're going to see more and more companies start to get into the 5.7 game for making ammo. All right. Have you guys had a chance to watch any videos on the Ruger 57 yet?
I have not. I want to.
No?
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of the Ruger videos.
I have not.
Because I think that's what, a 20 round capacity, if I'm not mistaken. And I thought they were cheaper when they first premiered, but everything that I'm seeing is like $679, which is less than half the price. I mean, it's less than the price of an FN 5.7, but it's also even less than what I've seen for used 5.7s, which usually run like $700 to $800.
They can do a little better on pricing as far as
I think you do a $599, man. I mean, that would really be. I think you're going to see them drop down in price as time goes on. But yeah.
Arizona Awesome Austin asked a little earlier. He says, "Is there any other guns besides the PS9, the FN 5.7, and the Ruger 5.7 that are mainstream that shoot the 5.7?" Which is a good question. I'd like to know the same thing. Is there? Is it just those?
I believe it's just the P90, the 5.7, and the Ruger 57.
Okay, let me show you all of your options. Okay.
Now, for anyone,
let's go over to Bud's guns here.
The semi-auto version of the P90 for civilian use.
Yep. Would be really nice to get yourself a PS90 and SBR. Get yourself a shorter barrel version of it. That looks really cool.
There you go.
So head over to Buzz Guns real quick, guys. Can you see this?
Yes.
All right. So the 5.7 round. Okay, you've got your FN 5.7s. Okay, we're looking at around $1,099 as your $1,000. A used one's $1,000. I've seen them for sale in other gun stores around $800. What's up?
I've seen them. I've seen them on Arms List anywhere between $750 and $850.
Okay, so you can do better if you don't mind buying a used one. Yeah. Then we've also got the CMMG Banshee. Okay, so it's gonna be kind of your AR platform style pistol.
Yes.
They're not cheap. It's not a cheap caliber to get into. It's a fun caliber. Magazines are really not that bad. I think an FN mag for the P90 is $35. Yeah, $39.
I think CMMG also has an upper AR-15 receiver that takes P90 mags that you can use. That you can just slap on an AR, and it ejects out the AR-15 magwell.
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's CMMG. There's a couple companies that make them. There's one that's been out for quite a while.
CMMG makes them, some other companies make them. But the thing is, I've been looking to get one of those just because. Why not? Why not?
Oh yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun, and it takes your FN mags. Pro Mag does make a mag for it, and it gets decent ratings.
Yeah.
You can get a 50 round FN mag for $39. You might as well just go that route and get the real deal. Then you've also got the XL arms now. Kingpin, don't you have an XL arms 22 or 17? Is that what you were saying earlier?
No, my XL arms is the 22. It's kind of like that one.
Is that yeah?
Right there on the screen. Yeah. In
This black one right here.
corner.
Yeah. This guy right here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you've got So just looking at your options, then we got your FN57. We obviously have the PS90, the XL accelerator pistol, another CMMG Banshee without all the frills for 1084. There's some cans out there you can get for it too. You've also got Masterpiece arms too. They also make. And the funny part is, I bet you a lot of these are just like selling out now that the Ruger 57 is out there. And then you've also got Savage. Savage has one too. I didn't realize that. They've got a varmint rifle. Now it's out of stock, but they have a lightweight varmint rifle in 5.7, which is kind of cool. I like that. That'd be kind of an interesting. I'm trying to think of your application for something like that. You're looking at $514 was the price of it before it sold out. And honestly, I don't even know if that's still in production, to be honest with you. I would guess it still is. It looks like a fairly modern gun. Okay, PWA arms. Nice strike. That might have been what I was thinking of. PWA, they make an upper that'll slap on your that'll slap on your Air 15 lower. And that gets you basically it's proprietary upper, but still. So I don't think you're going to be able to put like a traditional charging handle on it and stuff like that. But yeah, it does eject out of the magazine wall of the AR. Which, it's 1,083, so you got to ask yourself, do I just want to go buy myself a P90 and just be done with it? Or, you can get a P90 for 1,083. I don't know. P90 is like 1,300, aren't they?
I've seen other ones from
PS90
on other sites that we don't talk about, but I've seen those rifles go like 700. So, not 1,000.
Oh, yeah, those Now, are you talking about just the upper or the complete rifle? Because I've seen just the uppers going for 800. Oh, okay. I think on their website they have them for sale. Oh, there's a Blackheart. Oh, Blackheart Arms makes one too. I didn't realize that. They got a couple of them actually. This must be fairly recent. So here's more of your CMMGs. And I'm not sure what these take for magazines. They probably take the FN mags, but I'll be surprised if we start to see them. Now, they haven't announced it yet, but do you guys think that Ruger's going to release a PCC in 5.7? Have they announced that yet at all, or did I miss that?
I haven't seen any. I didn't see anything about it when I was at the Ruger booth at the Great American Outdoor Show. I don't know if they talked about it at SHOT Show or not. But when you're talking about the ARs that use the magwell as the ejection port, they use the PS90/P90 magazines.
Yeah. And obviously, here's the Ruger 57. Which I think it looks like a great. The funny thing is, I haven't watched a Nothing Fancy video in years, but I did watch his video on this. He did a really good video, regardless of how you feel about him. But he did a really nice, just full tour of that thing and really covered everything about it. Put a lot of rounds through it. I mean, it was. I hate to have to. The cost on that was probably pretty crazy because they put a ton of rounds down range in it when they were shooting it. But still, yeah. So 679 is what they're showing for the Ruger 57 pistol.
Yeah.
But I swear they were under 600 when they first came out. But
I've seen them cheaper elsewhere too. I don't know why the rise in price.
I can tell you they're popular everywhere. Is sold out, and maybe that's just gun dealers trying to get their hands on them and stuff. It's hard telling, but it's one of those. It's one of those things where eventually these will get back in stock. But for right now, I mean they're pretty hot. So here's a case of FN57 ammo. How many rounds is this? $21.50 per box of 50. Okay.
And it's lead-free ammo, so that's probably going to be copper round.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, probably. Let's see, are they all lead-free? I wonder if the American Eagle stuff is lead-free too. Is that how does it have to be for their specifications or not? I don't know. Okay. So, just looking at the ammo costs. What's that?
Scott P79 mentioned out in the chat, he said the rise in prices because more people are looking for it. So instead of the price going down, the more people are looking for it, the price is going up.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, I don't know. I think when I did my PS90 video a year or two ago, I think it was when I was looking at the ammo price, I think they were still about 50 cents a round. I don't know if that's really gone up a whole lot, but just availability in general. I mean, just in certain channels you might normally buy it from, you might see the shelves empty because as soon as somebody picks up a firearm for it, they're obviously going to go get ammo for it too. But I think that it does have a lot of potential. And I'm just, something that generates any kind of excitement about the industry or anything that gets people into firearms or maybe makes somebody a fan of something. I think it's a great thing, whether you're going to buy it or not. I mean, I do like the handguns that Ruger produces. And I think it's cool that they decided to kind of just answer that call that nobody was asking for. But it is cool that they've got an affordable 5.7 firearm. I say affordable loosely because it is a pricey little pistol to get into, but it'd be kind of fun to have. It'd be really neat to have.
Would you consider this a fad, or is this like legitimate for the firearms industry, or is it kind of a cat? How would you consider it?
What scares me is that a lot of guys and gals are going to buy the gun, they're going to buy the ammo, and then maybe realize, oh, this is kind of an expensive little range toy. Not that it can't be a viable self-defense firearm, okay? But I just think that you're going to go out and put a couple hundred rounds down range. You're like, damn, that was $100 for those 4 mags. It's like, oof. I don't know. I don't know, Dave. That's a good question. I think it's going to get a lot of people into the round. I think that maybe people buy it just to have one around, just to experience the 5.7 round. But I do think that you're going to maybe start to see some of these showing up on the used market, maybe about a year or so. People might buy it, realize they didn't shoot it as much as they wanted to, maybe realize the ammo is a little more expensive than they thought it was going to be, and then they end up selling it. But I mean, that's kind of true with a lot of calibers when you really get into it. There can be some rounds that are just like 300 Blackout. I mean, I love my 300 Blackout gun, but I don't shoot it as much as I want to, or my 300 Blackout pistol, because the ammo is a little expensive, and I can't get it locally anymore. I have to order it online. My town nobody carries it in town, so yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. What do you guys think? Is this just a fad, or do you think it's going to be a caliber that's going to gain in popularity now? You think we're going to see some other manufacturers put out some weapons in 5.7 or not? Anybody have any thoughts on that?
I still think it depends on how many ammo manufacturers start picking up on it. The more ammo manufacturers start picking up on it, the price of ammo starts coming down. More people might start making firearms in it. And Road Call out there, we all know he works at a gun shop. He said that they had 5 calls coming to the shop today. People asking if they have the Ruger 5.57, 5.7, whatever you want to call it, in stock.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, man, when they go see what an FN 5.7 costs or what a PS90 costs, are like, well, yeah, I'm going to gravitate towards a Ruger. Yeah, I'm going to go that route. And I mean, some big channels have really put out decent reviews on the gun too, and I think that's going to help it out a lot. I know Colio Noir put out a video on it, and he's had a ton of views on his video. Again, love him or hate him, so I'm indifferent. I'm just watching the video for information, and I mean, he really did like it. He's just saying, compared to the FN, I think he liked his FN a little bit better in the end, just because of the way it felt in his hand. But still, yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely, yeah.
I think it's a little too early to tell if it's going to be a fad or not. I think we need to see the market kind of rise and either gravitate towards this round and this new gun. But I think what we'll see is we're going to see a bunch of people buy it, enjoy it, and then sell it if they want. But man, it's a great round to have for its purpose. And I think we'll see that only time will tell in all reality.
Yeah, I agree. If more people, they are saying more ammo manufacturers and more firearms companies start making firearms and rounds for this, I'd gladly jump on board with it. If you have a coyote problem, that'll be a great coyote round.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. Man, out of that rifle, was that Savage that I was showing off? That'd be cool. It'd be a fun little varmint gun. What is it? Screaming Skull Saloon is saying the rumor is that Ruger is going to release a 5.7 chambered carbine. I don't see why they wouldn't. You've already got magazines out there. You've already got a pistol that everybody wants, or that a lot of people are buying into, and they might see that carbine as a nice, kind of a accompaniment that's going to go along with that pistol. I mean, it's going to be a selling point for a lot of people. Just like a lot of people that buy high points. I mean, a lot of people have the high point carbines because they take the same magazines as the pistol itself. I mean, hey, the carbine, this is only $80 more for the carbine. I'll just take one of those. I've already got magazines for it, so why not, right? Now, if High Point would come out the 5.7, that would be it right there. That'd be a game changer. Let me just overuse that term right now. So you get yourself a $200 High Point 5.7. And that's it right there. Game over.
There's another factor that we haven't touched on.
Yeah.
People that have issues with recoil. This round does not recoil that much. if
Yeah.
you have issues with recoil with the handgun size, like that, like the Ruger 5.7 or the FN 5.7 or like the Masterpiece Arms, the one that looks like it's a Mac 10, Mac 11 copy or whatnot, recoil isn't going to be as hard as, say, even a 9mm or what have you. There are people that have trouble with even with 9mm, believe it or not, because they have arthritis or whatnot. This round is going to be a lot less recoiling than what a 9mm.
And I'm telling you, with those gold dot rounds, 20 of those, it's a totally viable self-defense handgun. All right, I'm not saying it isn't at all. And I'll tell you the fun thing about shooting that PS90 when I took it out. The only thing I felt, it wasn't even the recoil. I mean, I could hear it. You could hear it hitting the steel, but there's so much weight on that PS90 that you couldn't even really feel it when you fired. It almost felt like a staple gun or something. In fact, the only thing I felt were the shells bouncing off the front of me as they were ejecting out of the bottom of the stock. That was the only thing that I really noticed. I was like, oh, what was that? You're not used to it. If you don't use a bottom ejection firearm, it's kind of throws you off a little bit. So depending on how I was standing, I would actually feel that, but I wouldn't feel the gun when I was pulling the trigger. It's a cool round. I mean, it's a very. It's a shame that it's as expensive as it is right now, but I really do think that it's going to go down in price as time goes on. What is it? Yeah. So if we get ourselves a Ruger PCC, I think it's definitely going to take off. Daniel Pfeiffer says still a fad at this point. Yeah, I think once you start to see more ammo go into production and maybe see a few more other companies jump on the bandwagon and get some guns out there. Now, Hunan's line is in any way says Ruger had a working relationship with FN and thus was something that came out of it. So that could be part of the deal too. Screaming Skull Saloon said picked up my PS90 for $12.99. That's a good price. I mean, I'm seeing $1,600 and not elsewhere. Holosun Optic was around $140, and then I added an enlarged left-hand canine charging handle for $45. It's a fun little gun. So let's see. Do you think if these 5.7 guns were cheaper, the ammo would get more popular? Yeah, I think so. I think as more people buy into the guns, you're going to get more companies that are going to realize that they can, sell that caliber. And I think, for a lot of us, we've got the 5.56s and we've got the 7.62s by 39s and we've got the 30.30s, and it's just like suddenly it's just a little more affordable than maybe it was before. So a lot of us are considering picking one up just for the heck of it. Let's see what we have here. Southpaw said, it is always a plus for me to add a different platform and have tons of mags already on hand for it. For example, sub 2K G17. Now, there you go. Yeah, I think that, Ruger. Calaveras says, I think a Ruger PCC and 5.7 would be fun. I think so, too. Yeah. Let's see. Kingpin, what do you say out there? Who really wants to get Kyle the high point in their trash? Embarrassing.
Yeah, everybody keeps saying that high point is trash. I'm like, could you imagine when the guys come by to pick up your trash and they're like, oh, there's a high point in here. Yuck.
Hey, man, I love them.
They would probably finish that sentence with, well, at least it isn't a Glock.
I think that high point should be locked to the market and release the single stack 10mm. I think that would definitely, they would definitely beat Glock out there. I was still waiting on an announcement for single stack 10. I'm still looking to upgrade my my carry piece, but after watching that Cosine Arms video last night that Midnight Range was doing, man, they about sold me on that. So, but that's a discussion for a different time. All right, we're going to go ahead and shift on over and talk about holsters for a little bit. Inside the waistband, outside the waistband, kind of some of the lessons that I've learned buying many different holsters and testing a ton of holsters on my channel. I looked at it, and I think I tested about 6 or 8 different brands of holsters and different styles and types. Not a lot, but I'm covering a big variety of holsters that are out there. And so you've got a lot of options, okay? So I'm just going to run this around the panel real quick, you guys. Go ahead and share kind of what your preference is for holster, whether you conceal carry or not. What works best for you and why, and maybe that's just what you use and it's always worked for you, and that's perfectly fine too. We're not here to criticize or judge anybody. Nice Drake, I'm going to start off with you because you were one of the latecomers to get your concealed carry permit amongst us group of friends here. So, Nice Drake, can you share with us real quick what works for you for a holster?
Well, you see, our good buddy Kingpin, David Bowling, sent me a holster that goes along quite well with my SIG, and I use that holster. It's got the SIG branding on it and everything.
Now that's an outside the waistband, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
But I just put my shirt over it, and I just wear a jacket if it's cold out, and then there you go. It's concealed.
There you go. Is that Kydex or leather or what?
I don't think it's Kydex. I think it's just plastic.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, Rich, what about you? What works for you for holsters?
Depends on what I'm carrying. For like
Yeah.
my shield and my Gen 1 shield and 40 and my Shield 3D Easy, I have the single clip Kydex holsters. The one on my regular shield is We the People holster,
Mm-hmm.
and then the one on for my 3D Easy, that's a CYA
Okay.
holster. Both of those are veteran-owned companies. They're
Mm-hmm.
basically the same style of holster. They're the single clip Kydex inside the waistband style holster, and for small handguns, I like that style holster.
Okay.
And for my right now on my Taurus G2C, I just have a cheapo Kydex that I picked up at the local gun shop on the $25 ones. That has the two clips on the side, metal clips on the
Sure.
side. But it does the job that I
Mhm.
need it to do for that for now until I decide which holster I want to go with for the G2C. And then for my M&P 2.0 compact, I have an outside the waistband holster, which is this one that I got from Black Hat Outdoors on his giveaway. When he gave it away, and I've been using this for that since I got it.
I like that sticker, by
And
the way.
no, it's not a sticker. That's painted on there.
Oh, that's
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 Emotional
awesome, dude.
support pistol. Do
Emotional
not
support
pet.
says
that's
do
part of
not
the
pet.
holster. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right. So when
And
you were
then
looking at all these
that,
things, was it? Yeah.
I was going to say that double clip holster also works for the M&P 2.0 compact, and this one also works for the G2C. Apparently, the G2C can use certain M&P holsters. So if you got an M&P and you have a G2C, before you go buying a holster for either, see if the other one will work with it, because it just might. Because I've shown this one when we were allowed to show on live shows guns and whatnot being handled. I proved that this holster will positively retain the G2C. I turned it upside down and was shaking it, and it was like that. It was not falling out. This will hold the G2C in it.
Cool. Yeah, totally unrelated. Any G17 holster that I've ever purchased before, and I've got several, works with my Smith & Wesson SC9 VE. So, sometimes you can pick up those VE holsters super cheap on eBay. They will work with the G17 Gen 4, just so you guys know. Squibby, what about you? What's kind of been your holster history? What works for you?
Conceal carry leather, open carry leather or nylon.
All right. Sounds good. Kingpin, what about you, man? I know just with the whole Maryland thing, no open carry Maryland? I don't know. What are the Maryland gun laws for open carry, concealed carry? What is it? Draconian?
Open carry rifle, open carry any size blade. If you got a sword strapped to your back, as long as you can still see it, that's fine. But if it's like tucked into your shirt, that's a problem. Which a folding knife, if it's inside your pocket, is an issue. A folding knife that's clipped to your pants is fine, as long as
Yeah.
it's not concealed.
Yeah.
Handguns, no open carry unless you're some type of law enforcement. And concealed carry is may issue, and there's like 0.1% of Maryland gun owners have a carry permit. And I'm not one of those. Just in case you guys were worried about that, I'm definitely not one of those. So,
I mean, if you wanted to spend the money and do the paperwork and really push for it, do you think you could get approved for conceal, or do you have to have when you
no,
say
absolutely not.
no? Okay.
No, that's
Not
not
in my situation where I would tell the truth because I'm not a Democrat, so I don't lie. There's no way on this planet that I'll get a carry permit in Maryland. This is not going to happen. Not in my situation. Now, my boss would be a little bit different because he owns a business and he has, a bunch of stuff that he could show that's worth value. Plus, they're also working on changing. I think they did change. I'm not 100% sure yet, but they're at least working on changing that. Because right now, if you owned a 7-Eleven, you could carry inside 7-Eleven as long as obviously it didn't break 7-Eleven's policy,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you go to get in your car and leave, you got to take the weapon off. Now they're going to allow the business owners who get carry permits to carry all day long. So if you apply for a business carry permit, that's just the same as a regular carry permit, which
So
is good.
It's
we just need to
progress.
start a GoFundMe to get Kingpin a business.
Yeah, and I mean, there's if this was 2013 and it was just starting, maybe I could finagle my way around because I am a subcontractor. All I'd have to do is just throw a title on, what I do. But the problem with that is they're gonna they're gonna research that and they want evidence. So when I don't have any evidence besides my paycheck at the end of the week, they're gonna say no.
Okay.
Even if you have evidence, they still can turn you down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have.
There's a guy here, and he's a pretty famous concealed carry trainer. Like he trains people that the few unicorns that walk through the door that get approved for concealed carry. And then there's law enforcement. He's been denied 3 times, but he's the certified trainer.
Yeah, and they claim that they'll give a special consideration to people who can prove that they have stalker and that their life may be imperiled. My wife has had Cumberland area police officers vouch for her when it came to trying to get a concealed carry permit in Maryland because she has had a guy stalking her that has been caught on camera, security cameras at the hospital and everything. They can verifiably prove that this guy is stalking her. They have denied her for a carry permit.
Now, the argument that could be made for that is you're a West Virginia resident, and nobody outside of Maryland is getting an out-of-state permit. That's just not going to happen. But I personally know
the same thing happened with one of her coworkers who actually lives in Maryland.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I know 10 or 15 people who have what they call credible threats against their lives, and Maryland's turned them down for their concealed carry permit.
Gotcha. Hey, Duke, Liberty, what about you, man? Kingpin, I guess, do you have holsters? I never got the answer out of you.
Yeah, well, I do. I've got a couple holsters. The Scotsman sent me a few holsters. Gun Snob made me a holster for my Ruger Security 9, a Kydex holster, which I really love. It's one of the ones I practice carrying around the house with. And then my M&P Shield came with a little leather Bianchi holster, a little pocket holster type of deal. And I practice with that a lot. So those are the ones that I'm familiar with.
What about carry on your own private property in Maryland?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, just regular state laws apply. You could open carry a pistol on your private property?
Yeah, like right now I live in the middle of the suburbs, and I can walk out to my mailbox with my gun, open carry, whatever, in my hand. I mean, I would be stupid to walk around with it in my hand, but they can't do anything. But if I step off into the street, then they're going to nail me.
Okay.
And then really, in reality, don't push your luck. If you're out there listening and you don't have a concealed carry permit in Maryland, don't go get the mail with your gun. Just don't do that.
Yeah. So we're not legal advisors. I mean, every state, every area has its own, and there's some common sense things it's a shame you can't just go walk out there with your gun on your hip and have to worry, but we don't want anybody to make any rash decisions or think to themselves, hey, I'm going to go show the world my new Ruger 57 and, all right, man. Gotcha. Cool. All right, Duke Liberty, what about you, brother? Holsters, man. What works for you?
Yeah. I'm looking in the drawer right here, and I've got a whole drawer full of holsters that I've gone through. Right, we all started out with the Black Hawk, slide into your waist holster, the outside of your waistband holster.
Uncle Mike's, baby.
Yeah, and there's no shame in that. That's great. You gotta
I use this one all the time. Believe it or not.
Yeah. And I hate when you hear people shaming someone else. Hey, you got to, as long as it's safe, you got to use what works for your body type. And that's what's so important about the holsters. But what I use now, what I've upgraded to, is the Vetter holsters. I love them. They're American made. You can get them custom because you got to look good when you're carrying your gun, even though it's in your waistband.
It gives you confidence, man. It's confidence inspiring. Yeah. It's the reason why people wear, name brand briefs, right? I mean, it's just, that's what it comes down to. Wait a minute. What? Okay, go on.
And then I also, for my ankle holster, I just got a really simple ankle holster off of Amazon, and it's called the Concealed Carrier. And man, I can carry anything from a Glock 26 up to a Glock 19X on my ankle all day long in dress slacks, and I'm confident in the stability and reliability of it. And I think I've gone through 2 in 2 years, so it's got about a year lifespan of wearing it every single day.
Yeah. Cool. There was a comment made on last week's Caliber Corner video, and I guess we could have mentioned this, but we didn't. Somebody said, hey, what's your opinion on printing? Do I need to worry about when I'm choosing a carry gun? And I kind of wanted to save that discussion for today because the holster you go with and the type of holster that you have and the way you dress, I can't really comment so much on printing because everybody has a different body shape and form, and the way that we layer clothes and wear clothes, that really has a lot to do with whether or not we're going to print our firearm. There are some inherent characteristics about some firearms that might make them a little bit more prone to print than others, and printing could be an issue in the community or the city that you live in. But just kind of depending on what kind of holster you go with, that does have a bit of an effect. But then so does your shirt type that you decide to wear, the layers that you're wearing, whether or not you're allowed to conceal carry and stuff like that. So printing, it kind of comes down to the what you're going to carry, I guess is what I should say. So some holsters are going to conceal better than others, and others are going to conceal worse than others, and so on. So a couple things I wrote down about some holster information. So if you're in the market for some holsters, here's some stuff I want you to think about. It's real easy just to go on eBay and buy a holster. One of the first holsters that I bought for my first concealed carry gun, which was an FNS 9C, was there was one company, Klinger Holsters, was making the only Kydex holster for the FN9C, the compact FN9. And I ended up buying it. I think it was like 30 or 35 bucks. And I didn't know anything about the company. I was just kind of getting into firearms and carry and stuff like that. I really hadn't even made videos on my YouTube channel at that point. And, that was a good choice to go with because it was a great holster and I had it up until the point that I sold the firearm and so on. When you're buying these holsters, see if they have like a decent return policy on them, because you can spend 25 or 30 bucks on a holster on eBay and you might find out that it's all sales final and you might not like that holster. A good company is going to give you like a 30-day testing policy, maybe a 60-day test on it. And if it doesn't work, you can send it back and get a full refund minus, your shipping costs, right? I think most of your main companies like Klinger, Hidden Hybrid Holsters, Bravo Concealment, Vetter Holsters, they give you at least 30 days, I'd imagine. So if you look that up, that's one thing to look for. So if you don't like it, you get it, and you're just like, man, there's no way this is going to work. There's no way this is going to fit. They're definitely going to take care of you. So the return policy is important. Now, when it comes to materials itself, you've got 3 basic types that most people are going to run into. Okay, you've got a simple outside the waistband, Uncle Mike's, right, nylon, generic holster, and you can actually go inside the waistband or outside the waistband. There's a lot of people that say, oh, you shouldn't do it inside the waistband with a nylon holster because this is flimsy and flexible and something could get in there and pull the trigger. There's nothing really blocking the trigger, but we've got a few members in our gun community that use these constantly and never ever had an issue with them. So this is a little cheapo that I got at Walmart for like 20 bucks, 25 bucks, and I use it with a variety of pistols. I don't even have the strap over the top. I just use it as a quick range gun when I'm out sighting in my rifles and so on. So you've got this simple style, more prone for an outside the waistband setup, and it's got the little pouch on here for an extra magazine that you can put in there if you want to. This is a size 5, and it fits a G2C or my EC9S, kind of a smaller compact style pistol. You might be able to get a G19 in here. I don't know. So you have that, okay? And then you run into your Kydex holsters. This is kind of probably the bulk of what you're going to see, and there's a lot of different cuts on these. This is the Klinger, I can't remember what the Stingray V3, maybe it's the new Stingray, and this one is for a G17 Gen 4. Inside the waistband holster, I think you can convert it to outside the waistband by flipping the clip around. It's ambidextrous, and you can set it up however you want to. This I usually do a 3 or 4 o'clock carry with my G17 Gen 4, and if I'm not layering, it's going to print on me. Obviously, I don't wear tight tops or anything like that. So these Kydex holsters are nice, but they are hard and they are a little bit uncomfortable initially. When you first start wearing them, you've got this, piece of Kydex pressed up against you the whole time. But again, everybody has a different body type, and the belt that you use and the kind of pants that you wear, all that is a factor that's going to determine how comfortable you're going to be when you go with a holster. But these are some of the least expensive to get into. I mean, you can get Kydex holsters on eBay for 20 bucks, all right? And they're going to use a nice thick Kydex material or an equivalent. And, some of the features, you might want something that's got a bit of a channel cut in it so it fits your sights. The hardware is also important. You can break clips off some of these if you're not careful. And if the company doesn't have replacement clips, you're going to be in trouble. You're basically going to have to brick or throw away the holster itself. Now, the reason why I've got some Velcro on the back of here I've been testing this for Klinger. Klinger has a little pad that they sell, and this is not an endorsement or anything. I'm just saying this is what they offer. And if you've got a larger pistol and you don't like that Kydex pressing up against you, or if you do a lot of driving, they have a little pad that you can slap on here. And it seems like it's going to be bulky, but when you actually put it on and wear it, you're already letting your belt out a couple notches, or you're already going with a pant size that's a little bit bigger. This pad does a great job with basically balancing out that pressing against you. It's going to make it so you don't really notice it as much. And this presses up against you, and it's almost like having a little pillow. So it makes it really comfortable for all day carry. And I've done that with my G17 Gen 4, and it's great. I like it. I mean, if I lean in my car, jump in and out of my vehicle, and this is pressing up against me, you're not going to get that uncomfortable Kydex pushing up against you. And the clips, one nice thing about a company like Klinger and some of those other companies that are out there, they offer different size clips, like 1.5 or 1.75 or 1 inch clips. So it's going to fit your belt. That's another important one too. Depending on the height of your belt, you want to be careful and make sure that they sell one for the clips for the belt that you're using. Otherwise, you're going to have to buy yourself a new belt. Okay, and belts are a whole nother discussion. Get yourself a decent carry belt or a good leather belt, and you're going to be fine. You don't have to spend a lot of money on it. So Kydex holsters are going to be probably one of your first options that are going to pop up. You got a lot of companies that make these. You know, there's some outside the waistband Kydex holsters and plastic holsters, Blackhawk and companies like that. So this is one option. And you can adjust the retention on it by tightening the screws on the front so the gun does not pop out. It's going to clip in there and it's going to be secure. And so this is definitely one way that you can go, okay? The other one that I really like, and this is from Hidden Hybrid Holsters. This is my daily carry holster. This is for my Ruger EC9S. And, you know, you've also got Alien Gear is the other company that makes this style. There's a lot of companies that make this style, right? And on this one, you've got the suede on the back, which is nice and soft. And it's really comfortable. Granted, I've only worn it like over the winter time. I haven't done a summer carry with this yet to see if it's going to cause me to sweat a lot or not. Got a Kydex shell on the outside. There's some companies you can send this in and exchange it if you get a different gun. And so you still have the retention adjustability by tightening the screws. And I think that helps out quite a bit too. There's different types of clips you can go with. There are ones that will lock into place. These are just the spring steel clips that just pop on and go on your belt. You can also run the belt through the loops here if you want to also. So you've got a lot of different options for how you can do it. You can also convert this to an outside the waistband holster if you run through the belt loops, which is really nice. And this one's made for the Ruger EC9S, which is the same thing as the LC9S, if I'm not mistaken. And so I like this one. This is a great one too. Prices, you know, that's the only thing about this is these companies are going to set their own prices and they're going to base them off of whatever they need to sell them for to make their money. You know, you might find one company is doing a basic Kydex holster for $65 and another company is doing one for $40 or $25. So what's the difference? Sometimes it's in the warranty that they offer. Sometimes they give you more accessories, so you can modify it for appendix carry, or you can modify it, for whatever ambidextrous options and so on. So when it comes to price, I mean, it really can fluctuate quite a bit. So I'm going to shut up for just a second here and let the panel kind of chime in their experiences with what they do or what works best for them or how they feel about price. So guys, you got any comments at all? You guys on the panel here? Anything you want to say? Probably put you guys to sleep. I don't know. All right, no comments?
My big question is the same question. Whenever we have a holster conversation, I have to ask the question is, why doesn't the gun manufacturer make the holster for the gun they make? You know, when the Glock 19 comes out, why doesn't Glock already have a holster made for it?
They may.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the fact that people like different things. Some people like Kydex, some people like leather. There is no one size fits all. Essentially, you get somebody who might be really thin. One holster that works for them may not work for somebody who's on the heavier side of the scale. So I mean, there's different factors come into it. You do get some manufacturers that'll make a really cheap holster and throw it in there as a gimmick, as a selling point. Yeah. Springfield's good for doing that, for example. But those holsters aren't always the greatest either. So if you get a Springfield, you still might, and it comes with a holster, you still might be going out and buying an aftermarket holster afterwards anyway. So it just
go ahead, Squippy.
Holsters are like everything else in the gun community. The opinion factor is there. The experience factor is there. You might say, I have no experience with holsters, so I'm going to go with you because you've been carrying different guns and different holsters for 20 years. And I'm going to tell you, well, son, let me tell you, you need to get that. Okay, that's great. Then you go ahead and buy it, and you go, I don't like this. This sucks. Some of it is trial and error. Sometimes you just start out, as much as I say, don't get yourself a ghetto AR with nothing on it and then have to buy all the accessories for it, or don't get yourself a cheap gun and then later you go, man, I should have got that $700 1911. Sometimes that's how you learn. Sometimes you go out there and you buy that cheap gun and go, this thing is a cheap piece of crap. Or you may buy it and go, this is the best $200 I ever spent. The same thing with holsters. You might buy that $30 holster and it works just fine for you on your regular old belt. Or then again, you start running into problems with it and you end up buying something else and something else. I'm not saying to throw your money in the fireplace. And if you don't have a lot of money, then it's a little bit harder to do that than say if you do. At that point, I say either work more and make more money, or buy everything used to save on it until you can, or save up your money until you can get something better. But holsters, like so many other things, if you have no experience with it, getting somebody's opinion. What I do is I listen to some of the negative stuff, not so much the sales pitch, but what didn't work for you and why. And it's more than, well, I just didn't like it. Okay, but why? Well, I just didn't. Okay, no. What did it fall apart? Did it whatever it was. I want more of the why it didn't work. Because if you can't give me a good why it didn't work, then I might try it for myself. But if you just give me the sales pitch of why it's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Sliced bread.
Yeah. That's just not going to do it for somebody like me. For you, that might be fine. If you don't have that experience, trial and error is sort of how you get the experience. It doesn't mean that you want to do something dangerous. It doesn't mean that taking training isn't a bad idea, and it doesn't mean that going to somebody with more experience isn't an option. But I'm just saying that it's just like a handgun. You may have small hands and want a small handgun, and it feels fine to you, and it's easier to conceal. And me, I can't stand little guns. Don't come to me for advice on little guns. I'm going to tell you, throw that little pea shooter away and get yourself a man's gun, son. Well, you don't want to take advice from somebody like me. So this holster chat and some of the other chats are good to give you a baseline and to give you some food for thought. But at the end of the day, you'll end up making your choice, and that may change as you get older. What you carry may change, how you carry. You may move to another state where the laws are different, or whatever it is. So just be flexible and ready to adapt as the industry changes, the technology changes, the laws change, you change. And don't be afraid to have that box of used holsters, because you may run into somebody later on who's getting into this and like, yeah, I got this gun, and I want to carry it, and I don't. Well, here's a holster. It's something for them to start. You may get your first holster that way. You may have somebody who's got a body, and take it, wear it, try it out, and if you like it, but you're like, it's kind of used and beat up, you can buy the same thing brand new. Or if you try it out and you go, oh man, I don't like this at all, then at least you know not to buy that. So if you have friends that have been into guns for a while, I guarantee you they've got a cardboard box with a bunch of used holsters in there. So you'll end up being that guy one day.
There's a quick question for me on that. What am I using with my my Bernie coat that I showed off in my last video? I have a holster that I actually use for 3-gun that has the molly loops on it, so I can put it on my my shooting belt. So this is a question for MO Patriot. It's a relatively inexpensive Kydex made holster that was designed for my Glock 17. And when I carry since I can carry the G17 in that Bernie coat, because it's got that giant pocket in the front, those big pockets, and those molly loops go right in there and attach right on there. When I made that Bernie coat video, I didn't have that holster out because all that stuff was packed away because we're moving. So I had to go dig all that stuff out. And so it was a bit of a pain to get to, but right now I've got the just an inexpensive Kydex holster. I don't remember it's not even a main brand. They're just made in the USA. They were $25, I think, on eBay. And if you go back and look at my 3-gun videos, I've got a review on that holster that I used. One thing I want to say real quick. So stuff I can personally recommend these brands. These are holsters that I bought several, and I've had great luck with them. I love Klinger holsters. They're great. And I was buying their holsters way before they sent them to me to test out. I bought several from them before I even got a tester from them. Shooter Industries makes a really good holster. Harry's holsters they make some really nice ones too that have a lot of different options for carry. And I think those are it. Those are the brands I've tried, but I've tried various models from those different companies. I did do a Blackhawk holster video, and people were freaking out about it, saying, oh, it's a dangerous holster to use because of the little button that you got to push. The retention button on it can cause the gun to go off and stuff. And actually, I kind of got rid of the holster shortly after all the feedback I got from people on that saying, oh, they're dangerous, you don't use it. And I'm sure there's probably people out there that have used the Blackhawk holsters with no issues whatsoever, you know. There's also the Comfort Cling holster. So, hey, real quick before I forget, Sandhill Shooter's joining in here. Sandy, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Yeah, what's up? Finally got off work so I can say hi.
All right, man. So real quick, tell us about the channel, then I want your recommendations for holsters. What works for you?
You can find me here on YouTube under the name Sandhill Shooter. You can find me on Facebook under the same name and on Patreon, and those and also Gunstreamer. Those are the 4 places where we have anything going on right now. Every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Central Time. Tuesday nights, 9 Central, we have a live podcast called the Get Off My Lawn podcast. And sometimes we talk about some pretty deep subjects, and sometimes we just kind of goof off and have fun. But you want to tune in and catch it either way. We make it. We try to make it anyway worth tuning into. So as far as holsters go, I got in here and heard what Squib was just saying, and it's. I tend to agree mostly with what Squib said. I don't have a cardboard box full of holsters. I've got them in a dresser drawer, but I've got an entire drawer committed to just my carry holsters, although for the most part they are ones that I cycle through because I've got different holsters that I use for different situations. Just like
True.
you might have different guns for different situations, but I've got different holsters too for different situations. Sometimes they're stuff that I'm kind of testing out or whatever, but as far as brand names, I really like the stuff that I've got from Alien Gear, and I know a lot of people think they're a gimmick, but I've been using this. I've been using these holsters for coming up on. Is it coming up on 3 years or coming up on 3.5? I can't remember now. It's probably been at least 3 years since I first got Alien Gear and got my Shapeshift holster. There's no discernible wear on it. It's not wearing out. Nothing's broken. Nothing works any differently than the day I got it, other than my backer is kind of permanently shaped to me, even though it's not leather. But other than that, which is not a bad thing, it still works just like it did the day I got it. So I can't complain about my Alien Gear stuff. I love it.
And let's just say 3 years of basically daily use as much as you possibly can, right? I mean, you probably put more wear and tear in your holsters than a lot of us here on the panel because I can't daily carry because of my job. I do when I get home, I do when I go out, I do when I travel, but yeah. Yeah,
and up until the last probably 2 to 3 months, ever since Klinger Holsters saw my review video of their V3 Stingray holster where I said it's a great holster, but it's not for me. And it's not comfortable, and I can't wear it, then they reached out to me and said, hey, we'd like to send you these Klinger cushions. So I put a Klinger cushion on my Klinger holster. I've got just the one. But I also put it on my Bravo inside the waistband holster that I have for my Glock 19. And I tell you what, I've been wearing the heck out of that thing because I love my Bravo holster.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as far as rubbing on me and causing some pain, but there's still kind of a pinch point. But they sent me one of each size of their Klinger cushion, and I just stuck the little Velcro dots on my Bravo holster because it doesn't have to go on theirs. And dude, it's really nice. And you know, I don't have to tuck my shirt in, so I don't have an issue with printing really with that one. So in the wintertime, I've just got a quarter zip pullover that I wear for a work shirt with a logo on it, and it works really great. So Bravo is really good stuff too, whether it's inside the waistband, outside the waistband. Those are probably the two that I use the most, is Alien Gear or Bravo. But the thing is, what works for me, like everybody else has probably said, that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And the reasons that things don't work for me isn't necessarily because they're junk. And I tried to explain that on my Klinger video, is it's not junk. It's very, very good, but it doesn't work for me because of the way that I'm shaped. And if I stand up all day, it's fine. But if I sit in the car or at work, then it rubs on the outside of my leg when I'm seated. So it's just not comfortable. There's nothing wrong with it for anybody that if you can get away, get along with it, fine. Then great, because the quality is high. It's just for me, it's not comfortable. But I'm just me. So it's kind of like recommending shoes or boots. If you look at any pro sports team, all those professional athletes, they're wearing, by and large, basketball players, they're wearing the same jersey and same shorts, out there, but they're all wearing their own shoes, and not necessarily their own with their logo on it. But I mean, every guy is wearing a set of shoes that he picked out and works best for him. Football players are the same thing, the pads and the helmets. Some of that stuff's a little bit tailored to the position, but for the most part, that's all issued to them. But their shoes, that's personal. And I can't tell you what the best kind of shoes are for you. You've got to go try a bunch of them and see if they work for you. And then if they don't work, get rid of them and get a different pair. Holsters are like that. That's why we all, after so long, we're always looking for that holy grail of holsters, right? So we're always willing to try one more. And some of us, that do this as a hobby, sometimes we get stuff sent to us or whatever. Or we buy it just to try it out and talk about it, right? So we're always looking for that next big holster that's going to be, perfect for us, that we can talk about it. And then we'll tell you, most of us will tell you honestly, if we liked it, if we didn't like it, what we did like, what we didn't like. I'm kind of the same as Squib. I want to know, if you say it doesn't work for you, I want to know why it doesn't work for you. Is it quality? Did it fall apart? Is it junk? Or is it just because the way that you do it, it doesn't work for you, but it might work for the way that I do it? And then, I might still be willing to give it a try. So,
I wore my Galco with my M9 on a drive from north of Detroit all the way down I-75 to Macon, Georgia. And it's like, I don't know, 14, 18 hours or something like that. And I had this thing jammed in my back the whole time. And when I got there, my back was a little sore, but I was okay. For me, that's a test of a holster. Well, you may say, I never drive 18 hours straight, so that's not a good comparison. And then totally my opinion is no good for what you do. But see, you may be talking to somebody who carries at a job where they're standing up all day like you are, and you might be able to say, what you've worn before that just doesn't work when you're on your feet all day. And that might be something that's more receptive to them, or vice versa. They may not be on their feet all day. They may drive a truck all day, and they might want my opinion, or And there's a lot to it, and whether you got a dresser drawer because you're fancy, or your cardboard box because you're not, you are going to end up with holsters, and it's just one of those things you end up collecting. Like, I like how you said the holy grail of holsters, because it almost seems like we always look for the holy grail of calibers too, don't we?
Yeah, or carry guns.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, man. Real quick, answer a question here. Jason Stewart wanted to know, what do you use to clean your holsters with? I just use a microfiber cloth. If I'm getting a lot of dust and grime in here, I'll just take one of those. I buy like 5 packs of them at Walmart. They're back in the car washing section, like the detailing section. And I just wipe out my holsters with those, and then I'll take out all the lint and all the grime. And I just take those cloths and throw them in the laundry when I do whatever, towels and stuff like that. So microfibers are good.
Well, Kydex holster, I've thrown in the dishwasher.
You guys clean your holsters?
Yeah, it gets, you get some belly button lint going on in there. You kind of get some. Take your gun apart once in a while. You'd be surprised what kind of crap builds up in that thing if you carry it every day. Man, you got Pop-Tart chunks in there. You got, spicy hot Cheetos in the receiver. What's up?
Yeah, honestly, with my Kydex holsters, I just throw them in the dishwasher.
You're being serious?
Yeah.
Okay,
plate dryer, plate dryer on or plate dryer off?
What's that?
Plate dryer? Do you have the heated plate dryer on or off?
I put them in the top rack so the plate dryer doesn't matter.
Okay, just wondering if they'd melt.
Just put them next to the top square. So yeah.
I was going to ask the same thing. Does the hot water, do you run a risk of losing your shape or losing your retention on those?
No.
Rich, you see a video coming up here, man.
Rich, do you get spots? Or do you use those jet packs?
No, we use jet dry.
Well, you don't want water spots in your holster. That's gonna look nasty. It's gonna have like liver spot camouflage.
What if you're really into spotted holsters?
Not only do we use jet dry, but we have the little packets that look almost like the Tide Pods that have the stuff in it as well. because they got the
And
they got
you're about as
I like the
fancy as
Cascade or the
Stanhill's
up and up ramp
dresser
from Target.
drawer.
they got your Cascade in there. They got the Dawn mix in there, and then they got your Jet Dry in the little pouches. The little Tide Pod little pod thingies, and then we have Jet Dry itself in there. So yeah, we don't get any spots all over our
Hey,
holsters or glasses.
Squib, VR challenge. Which dishwasher detergent cleans your Kydex holster the best?
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, look at this. Sandhills keeps his holsters in a drawer. Rich uses all this fancy detergent and stuff. And I feel like I'm
good. All those creams
I
and
need
lotions
to,
and everything. Yeah.
I need to go back to the trailer park. You
That's
guys
right.
are making me feel.
What kind of
a little
moisturizer? What kind of moisturizer do you use on your Kydex to keep it nice and shiny and pliable? What?
Yeah, do you use saddle soap or what?
Oh yeah, yes.
Squib.
I also buff it out. Get the mirror glaze on there. Get some Mother's Caranuba wax going on there, right? Yeah.
For what it's worth, Squib, my holsters might live in a dresser drawer, but I don't clean them. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little
Oh,
ghetto.
okay. Well, yeah, all right. Yeah, that does kind of offset. I think I might go home and
Get some saddle.
Yeah.
Get some some saddle butter going on there. Heck yeah, dude. Oh my God, I can't believe we've devolved into. All right.
we're all gonna have holster cleaning videos coming up.
So we're gonna backtrack about 10 or 15 minutes. So Kingpin, you asked the question, why don't the gun companies just make the holsters? Why don't they just do it for you? Here's the thing, Kingpin. Here I buy a carry gun, a brand new FN designed for carry. All right, you get multiple magazines with it. Well, for one thing, they didn't even have extra magazines available at the time when the gun first came out, and I couldn't find a holster for it. I had a concealed carry permit. I had a different firearm that I qualified with, and here I had my FNS 9C or FN 9C, right? I wanted to start carrying it. Nobody made a holster for it. So I went on eBay and found the one company, and that just happened to be Klinger, and they hadn't even really had it in production. They just advertised that they would make it for you. It would take like a month or two to get there. So it was a pain that the gun company released a gun that's designed for carry that had no holster option whatsoever. So that was really a pain with it. That was no mechanical safety on it. I wanted it in Kydex. I couldn't just put it pocketed or anything like that, right?
Well, one of the things that makes me ask that question is, like Night Strike was mentioning, I bought the P320, and once again, since I live in Maryland, the holster that came with it is useless to me, and I knew he had a P320, so I sent it to him, and he seems to think that it's a pretty good one right out of the box from SIG. I mean, that's why I was figuring, couldn't you just? But it makes sense what you guys are saying. All the different body types and positions of carry and all that kind of stuff kind of factor in. Where, I mean, I guess the companies could be greedy and charge an extra $30 for the gun because they throw a plastic holster in there with it, which most people would just put in their holster drawer.
Yeah. And what's funny is it seems like a lot of guns come with holsters. Like I know that the Canex they usually come with a paddle holster. Sometimes they just throw one in there. It also might come down to a bottom line thing. The company wants to maximize their profit, so they're not going to spend the extra $1 or $2 or $3 that would cost for them to make that holster and throw it in your box. It's nice when they do, especially if you've got a firearm that you might not have a common firearm. There might not be a lot of holsters out there for it, or maybe you've got an older firearm and you can't find a holster for it either. So that's just something too. When it comes to belts, I'm not going to make a straight up recommendation for a belt. I'm still using my old sheepdog leather belt that I bought from let's see, Night Strike. Who was it that used to be on Hit or Miss back in the day? Sean? Was it Nate or Sean? I think it was Nate from Sheepdog Leather. I'm still using that belt, but I would like to maybe go upgrade.
Yeah,
like
Nathan.
Belt. Nathan, yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean,
I
I've
used the
I do
1911 holster he
carry
sent me. Yeah, the leather 1911 holster. That's the only holster I've got from my 1911, and I love it.
Is he still making belts?
I do not think so.
Any idea if he's still around at all? So if you guys go to sheepdogleather.com, he makes really good, American-made belts. Great rawhide selection, great selection of leather. Yeah. Okay. Well, they were good when they were out there. I mean, you could get by. I mean, I've got a couple just Dickies leather belts that were $20 at Walmart that work just fine, But I do like the load bearing that a proper carry belt gives you. I guess you could say the rigidity of it, especially if you're carrying a heavy piece, something that weighs over, say, a pound. You're going to get less belt sagging, but it also depends on the kind of holster that you're using. Double clip versus single clip. These are going to pull differently on a belt. So if you really do worry about it, just do some research on carry belts. Read some of the reviews, maybe ask somebody, a few people at the range that you might shoot with, or if you have any buddies that are gun people, what belt they prefer. I don't want to make a specific recommendation because, one person can make something work and another person might have to have something more specialized. So that's That's kind of my take on belts, but nah, I don't think we dedicated kind of an episode to it or anything like that. So let's see here. Sean Newman says, throw it in the dryer with some snuggle sheets to make it extra soft. Yeah, that's when we soften up that Kydex, right? What else we got here? Any other comments or questions? Mo Patriot says, I think someone should start a company. What I say? Holster Butta. I'm going to make conditioner for your holsters. There you go. Let's see. Gizzard Gary says Farmington Hills
Travis.
Leather makes excellent gun belts at a great price. So Farmington Hills Leather. What's that?
And Travis, do not look in the side chat in the hangout.
I did.
Don't look at it.
All I got to say is there's a machine that's having malfunction, and I don't know what the problem is. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know, Nice Strike. I know. There's a Makarov out there with my name on it. So
look at those prices, though. You're not going to get them any cheaper than that.
All right, we're going to take 1 second, and oh my God, wow, $335 for Bulgarian Makarovs. Okay, they were $400 to $500 at the gun show that I went to.
And these are new imports.
Really? Oh, yeah. $335 to $349 over at dkfirearms.com. If you guys are looking for a Makarov, you best to hurry up and get over there and pick one up. They've got different grip options on them. They look a little rough, but I don't know what the condition was of the ones that Classic used to sell a couple years ago. These guys they're offering just grip options, and that's it. They're not giving you anything extra for hand select or anything like that. There's 3 reviews on it. So this shipment just showed up on February 5th.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay, so if you guys are in the market for a Makarov, you want to get one, they're going up in price too, guys. Just if you want a nice little investment piece, go to dkfirearms.com and get your Makarov ordered right now.
Travis, get one. You're not going to get a better price than that. Get one.
I'm gonna buy squibs, or not squibs. I'm gonna buy Fuses.
Yeah, like that's going to happen.
He'll sell it to me. Hey, you offer him a price he won't be able to refuse. That's all I got to say. So offer him a good price, he's not going to refuse. He's going to sit there and think, I don't really need it, and I guarantee he's going to sell it. So it'll happen. I mean, that's a great price, though. I'm just not really looking for one right now. I mean, I just got done building my 300 Blackout pistol, and I'm currently looking for a new carry gun. So, although that might make a nice new carry gun, I don't know. So, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping it up here. Let's go ahead and let the panel put their final plugs in. We got to get ready for the Guns and Geeks podcast over there on the Never Enough Ammo channel. As usual, we had a lively, fun little discussion this evening. I had a great time. And make sure that you guys check out the Get Off My Lawn podcast over on Sandhill Shooter channel. Make sure you guys check out Tuesday Night's Hit or Miss and any other shows that are out there. So finishing things up here, Sandhills, we're going to let you go ahead and put a final plug in. Anything you want to say before we go, bro?
I think you just put the plug in for me, so we'll see you all tomorrow.
Right on. What time?
9 o'clock Central Time. You do the math if you don't live in the good time zone.
All right, for those of you that might not understand, that's 10 o'clock East Coast time, right? Okay, Duke Liberty, anything you want to say before we go, bro?
Always appreciate the invite. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Great panel as always. Check out everybody's channel on the panel. They got some great content. Thanks again, Travis. Have a good night.
Hey, you too. If anybody wants to be on the show, just email me at thecalibercorner@gmail.com and just say, hey, I'd like to be on the show sometime. I will happily send you a link and you can join in. I'm not one who's going to say you can't. So feel free to shoot me a link. If I've been missing anybody, I apologize. Just notify me, let me know. Usually in a hurry when I send out the invites. And so that's why I don't always get everybody invited that I want to, but it's not intentional. All right, Kingpin, anything you want to say before we call it?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure. Lots of good information. Love a good conversation, and see everybody next time.
All right, sounds good. Squibby, any final words of wisdom?
Yeah, no wisdom. Good night, everybody.
Live long and prosper, right? Excellent. Thanks for being here, man. All right, Rich White, anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, plugged my episode from yesterday in my channel earlier. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go back to a topic we were talking about last night. When we were at the Great American Outdoor Show, picked up a new knife. It's a Hofner knife. You can search them on Google, and I don't remember what their website is right now, but it's Hofner, Hoffner. Right now, they got a deal where if you buy their standard stainless combo 3.5-inch blade knife with the black handle material, I'll turn the camera on so you can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm looking at the website right now.
But if you buy the blade that's like this, but just the stainless with this handle material, it's a $67 blade, but knife. But if you buy this one right now for Presidents, as part of their President's Day promotion, you also get the 3.8-inch size one for free with it. No
Oh,
code needed. Just buy the stainless steel blade, combo blade with this style handle, and you get the smaller one free with it.
very
That's
cool,
a
man.
good deal. So go over there and check that out, guys, if you're in the market for a new knife.
They make some really cool looking knives over there. I'm checking out their website. So hoffners.com, hoffners.com. And man, they got some really nice looking blades.
Yeah, they
Very
were
cool.
selling.
Very cool.
These were 2 for $80 at the gun show. I mean, at the American Outdoor Show when we went. So my wife and I both got one. That was any of the folders. That
So the
included one
BOGO 2
that
for
was
1
the
is on
normal
the
stuff with
website right now.
Yeah.
Now they're showing the stainless steel blade on there, and you've got the blacked out blade. Do you get an option on that
I
or
got
not?
the blacked out. Yeah, I got the blacked out. The special's only for the stainless.
Yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah, silver combination blade with black flatline grips.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man.
Yeah.
So, guys, make sure you head on over there if you're in the market for an edge, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a
All right.
really nice knife. I like it.
Cool. Hey, man, test it out a little bit. Do a video on it, man. Really kind of put it through its paces and tell us what you think about it.
Oh yeah, it's super smooth. There's no spring in there, and you see how fast that opens. That's just the brass bushing that in there, and really smooth opening and whatnot.
Cool. All right. Okay, man. As usual, thank you for being here. Nice strike. Anything you would say before we go?
I'd have to be unmuted first, but
Of course.
But yeah, Travis, go get yourself a Makarov. Other than that, we'll see you guys next time, guys. So check out guntube.org and remember to watch me and Travis, navigate the topics of what's going on in the gun world and politics on Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central.
Well, let's not forget, you've always got an awesome panel. There's other people that show up, too, that do a really good job. So we got to give a little shout-out to our homies that are out there, too. So, yep.
True, but, it's your second show of the week.
This is true. My second show. Whoa, wait a minute here. I'm just riding on your coattails of success, brother. That's it. I'm just there because you let me show up, so. All right. And I think that's about it. So real quick, let's see who's joining in this evening. We got a little Kingpin out there and over here. We got a little Mad Sexy going on. MO Patriot, Missouri Patriot. Am I mispronouncing that? Mo Patriot, MOP Patriot. I'll get you right here eventually, bro. Marco Dunn's out there too. Tacos and French fries in the house. Midnight Range says, Travis P11, if you pick up a COS 11, buy me one too. Okay, bud, thanks. Midnight Range, I'll be sure to do that. Let's see here. Guy that comments is out there. And let's see. Mystic Guns, AC 97 in the house. Blue Steel 44. Rah Hills out there too. Grumpy says, at Travis P11, anime chat. I would. I mean, I'm down, man. I grew up with that kind of thing, and now it's suddenly cool with everyone. So SS Pond is out there. Yo. Robotech all the way, man. Akira got me hooked in, and then after that, anime all the way. Sean Newman's out there too.
Chat, call me.
Yeah, man. We had one on Matt's channel a couple of years ago. It was myself and Heavy and Matt. Was it just us three?
No, I was there too.
Nice strike. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Got my helmet in the other room. I should go grab it real quick.
Yeah, I'll
my
jump in on that one for sure.
Go put my Veritech helmet on. Jason Stewart was joining in too. Guy that comments joining in. Let's see here. AC 97, Mad Sexy, Calaveras 32 Special in the house. Marco Dunn watching. Let's see. We miss anybody? Gizzard Gary's out there. And I saw a little roll call going on out there. Roll call. We got to get you on here too, bro. 2 Live Moo in the house. Mystic Guns. Grumpy out there too. M. Gabriel, DM Foz watching. And I think that's about it. So real quick, before I forget, I'll be doing a Patreon drawing next week for the month of February. Every month I give away a whole box full of goodies. And so you can support me over on patreon.com/TravisP11 if you want to. You got pretty good odds of winning. I don't have a lot of patrons. And if you sign up for just a $1 per month patron contribution, you'll be put in the Travis P11 Army. We'll get you a little Army soldier, get you in the box, and you got a chance to win some really cool prizes. So that's something that we got going on. But anyway, guys, this has been episode number 123 And tonight we talked about the FN57 round and hopefully gave you some solid advice for where to begin if you're looking for a concealed carry holster. And next week we'll just continue the discussion on another topic. So well, thank everybody for watching. Have yourselves a great night. Head on over to the Never Enough Ammo channel. And I think also that CloverTac is doing a live podcast that started, or a live stream over on Instagram. So make sure you guys check out CloverTac. He started at 7. He might still be going over there. So make sure you head over to CloverTac's Instagram channel and check it out. He does a little live broadcast. And I think that's about it. So guys, I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe. I want you to be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. Y'all take care and have a good one. All right. Good night, guys.
Bye, Alicia.
Das vidania.
Cannot be infringed.
Ooh, there you go. Das vidania, Felicia. Adios.